Bueno, bienvenidos todos. Esto es ITNIC, ¿vale? ITNIC es una... is there anybody who doesn't understand Spanish? You don't understand Spanish? Okay, so let's switch to English, no problem. So welcome everybody. You are at ITNIC. ITNIC is a holding company. We started different companies in the past, 12 companies in total. We used to be engineers and coders in the beginning. We were doing software for other people. Eventually we decided to start our own companies. We started 12 companies, we sold 3, and decided to start a small fund and invest in early stage entrepreneurs. We invest mostly our money, so we are very straightforward and very fast in where we invest, and we always give feedback on why we're interested or why we're not interested in projects. Today we're going to give this feedback quite straight. You will see that doesn't mean it has anything to do with the truth or with the future, because we don't know the truth, we don't know the future. We have strong opinions, and those are the ones that we use to invest or not to invest. That's it. You need to talk to many people and find somebody who would back your project. We are entrepreneurs ourselves. We're used to pitching to other funds, and every time we do a fundraising round, we pitch to over 100 funds, so get used to it. We also have a podcast. We do a lot of effort in building content for entrepreneurs. We have a weekly podcast. And here at ITNIC, we also have a co-working space and a coffee shop you can see around you. Our most important companies are Camalún, Juan Rodriguez, the CEO of Camalún, Factorial, Jordi is the CEO of Factorial. And then Albert is a partner, managing partner at ITNIC Fund. And today we have Ignacio, who is the managing partner at Nerethy. In the between projects, we'll do a little fireside chat, and he will explain us what they are doing in Nerethy, which is one of the earliest pioneer funds in Barcelona, and it's been investing for the last 15 years, something like that. So without further ado, we can go to the first project. Who is? Who? Xabier Domeño. Domeño. Ok. Pues mira, 2 micros.
Vale. Bueno, buenas tardes. Soy Isabel Arrieta y él es Xabier Domeño y venimos en representación de Bonameat. Somos de Pamplona y, bueno, nuestro proyecto, en una frase muy corta, consiste en crear la mayor carnicería del mundo. ¿Cómo lo vamos a hacer? Os estaréis planteándolo, ¿no? Porque al final ves a la carnicería de tu localidad y dices, es imposible. Pues bien, vamos a dotar a estos establecimientos de todos los recursos suficientes para transformarlos en omnicanales. Ahora Xabier os va a explicar un poco los datos de cómo es el mercado en España y os va a explicar un poco la idea y luego responderemos a las preguntas que queráis.
Pues bueno, paso a deciros algunos datos. En España hay más de 25.000 puntos de venta de carne, entre los cuales venden carne por valor de 40 millones de euros diarios solamente en los hogares. Teniendo en cuenta esto y que, bueno, tengo experiencia en el sector de la carne como mayorista, hemos visto que, bueno, es un sector muy tradicional en el que queda mucho camino por recorrer en cuanto a digitalización. Entonces, bueno, la propuesta que planteamos es un marketplace que no es un marketplace al uso. Tiene 2 patas. Por un lado están los carniceros y por otro lado sus consumidores o los clientes finales. Proponemos, por un lado, al carnicero ayudarle a digitalizarse porque, bueno, por todas las ventajas que supone un marketplace, tiene un público mayor y tal, y le ayudamos a gestionar los pedidos, que es un problema que tienen ellos ahora mismo. Le ayudamos con el tema de la logística, que la desarrollaremos nosotros. Y luego al cliente le vamos a dar, por un lado, la facilidad de elegir, oye, tráeme el pedido donde quiera y cuando quiera. Se puede pasar también por la carnicería y decir, oye, me pasaré mañana a las 5 de la tarde. Coger el pedido y llevárselo. Y por otro lado, vemos que una barrera muy grande a la hora de comprar producto fresco, como os pasará a vosotros también, es que nos guiamos mucho por la vista. Vemos, joder, que pues esta carne me gusta, esta no me gusta, al final no son tornillos. Son productos que, bueno, que pueden tener mejor o peor pinta según tu criterio. Entonces, creemos que es muy importante añadir la opción, que ya lo hemos hecho en Pamplona en algunas carnicerías, de que puedas ver en directo el mostrador de la carnicería, ver los productos y en función de eso, pues realizar tu compra. Eso es a grandes rasgos nuestro proyecto. No sé si quieres añadir algo más.
Básicamente que no estamos haciendo un marketplace al uso, estamos creando algo nuevo. No queremos tapar a las empresas que están detrás de nuestra plataforma. Nosotros no queremos dotar solo de una plataforma, queremos ir más allá. Queremos transformar, queremos ayudarles, no tapándoles, sino dándoles visibilidad y detrás de ellos. Y así es como lo vendemos, ¿no? Y así es como se lo decimos al carnicero. Nosotros no te queremos tapar como marketplace, no queremos ser un Amazon en el que nos llevamos solo la comisión. Nosotros queremos ayudarte y queremos crecer contigo, porque mi éxito, nuestro éxito, depende de tu crecimiento. Entonces ya está. Esa es nuestra idea.
Muchas gracias por presentar. Cualquier persona de la audiencia puede hacer preguntas, ¿vale? Tenemos 5 minutos para hacer preguntas, luego pasaremos al feedback. ¿Alguien tiene alguna pregunta? Yo sí.
Claro. Los costes van a ser 4 euros.
Espera, perdona, ¿puedes repetir la pregunta? Porque hay gente en directo online y no tenía micro.
Sí. Te he entendido que a ver cuáles van a ser los gastos de la logística. Los costes de logística van a ir de entre 3,50 el envío hasta 4,50. Luego en Pamplona, que es donde ya hemos empezado a funcionar, hemos llegado a acuerdos con los carniceros, porque claro, al carnicero ahora hay algunos que tienen página web, hay algunos que le llamas por teléfono y te lo llevan, pero les cuesta mucho quitar una persona de su local, un carnicero, para repartir una hora de sueldo de un carnicero es muy caro para ellos. Entonces, bueno, ellos también están dispuestos a partir de 50 euros, el gasto lo asumo yo.
Otra pregunta. ¿A qué se parece más vuestra propuesta? ¿A un Shopify para carniceros o a un Amazon para carniceros?
A ninguna de las dos.
Vale, desarrollo la pregunta. Un Shopify, digamos, es invisible para el cliente final, ¿no? O sea, la marca que el usuario final consume es el nombre de la carnicería. Y en un Amazon, el cliente va a amazon.com. En vuestro caso, ¿dónde va el cliente final?
A la carnicería.
Un mixto. Va a ser un mixto, porque nuestros clientes pueden ir a la carnicería directamente que quieran y seleccionar sus productos, o ir a categorías de productos, por ejemplo, pollo, y comparo.
Pero online, yo como consumidor de carne que soy, voy a vuestra web.
Sí.
O sea, yo tengo que conocer vuestra marca. Sí. ¿O voy a la web de la carnicería de mi barrio?
Me imagino que casi todos conoceréis el tenedor, por ejemplo.
Por ejemplo.
Pues tú tendrás, oye, carnicería José, carnicería Juan Carlos, carnicería lo que sea. Pincharás dentro de eso, tendrás sus productos. Si quieres guiarte solamente por los productos y comparar precios, lo vas a poder hacer también.
O sea, con lo cual tenéis que construir una marca y tenéis que captar usuarios finales vosotros, no la carnicería, ¿no? Porque
eso es.
También.
Claro, porque al final un problema que era muy latente en el mercado, que al final los carniceros no tienen tiempo para liarse en titos, así. O sea, ya tienen sus páginas web, pero no tienen éxito. Bueno. Ya cogen pedidos por teléfono, pero no es útil. Y el coste que tiene todo ello, o sea, el coste de digitalización para este tipo de establecimientos es mayor. O sea, no pueden hacerlo solo.
¿Y cuál es el modelo de negocio?
Es muy sencillo. Nosotros incorporamos carniceros a la plataforma, ellos pagan una cuota anual, porque claro, le damos un soporte, le damos la webcam, le damos una tablet, le facilitamos todo y luego hay una pequeña comisión.
¿Y en euros?
300 euros anuales.
Vale.
Y el porcentaje.
¿Y eso incluye la tablet y la webcam?
Eso es.
En la primera cuota sí. En la primera cuota.
¿Y luego porcentaje?
Y el porcentaje en torno al 10% de cada venta.
¿Y eso incluye no incluye el pedido, el shipping, perdona, que se lo paga el cliente final?
Perdona, que no te lo he dicho. Claro, muchos carniceros no les interesa la tablet porque ya tienen el correo abierto, en sus básculas ya están digitalizadas, tienen acceso al correo. Entonces a muchos no es necesario incluirles la tablet.
Si está incluida en el precio, seguro que les interesa.
Seguro que sí.
¿Y el shipping lo paga el cliente final? ¿Los 3-4 euros los paga el cliente final?
Eso sí, hasta 50 euros. Luego, a partir de 50 euros,
es gratis.
Asume el carnicero.
¿Lo asume el carnicero?
Sí.
Vale.
Sí.
¿Y el 10% incluye la pasarela de pago?
Sí.
Vale. ¿Y qué métricas tenéis ahora? Ya me callo. ¿Qué métricas tenéis ahora?
Hemos echado a rodar esta semana.
¿Y qué significa echar a rodar?
Pues
La aplicación la hemos implantado esta semana, entonces, bueno, aún no tenemos métricas.
Vale.
Yo quería preguntarte si habéis observado este modelo que queréis hacer, que es, ¿no?, unir carnicerías, hacer un marketplace con retailers,
Sí.
en alguna otra categoría, porque esto se podría hacer con, no sé, con fruterías o con zapaterías, no sé.
Es más,
¿Hay alguno que hayáis visto de éxito en España o en otros países?
no. O sea,
No.
que yo sepa no lo conozco o lo ignoro. Sí que es verdad que nuestro proyecto tiene esa escalabilidad. O sea, nosotros queremos llegar a que no solo que este modelo de negocio no solo valga para fresco, sino acabe siendo también para la tienda de moda de tu localidad, para la frutería o para la pescadería.
Nosotros, al final, lo que pretendemos es romper un poco la barrera que hay a la hora de comprar producto fresco por Internet. Por lo mismo que os decimos que las camisetas son productos más o menos estándar, que sabes más o menos cómo son y tal. A la hora de comprar fresco siempre somos más reticentes.
¿En qué estadio estáis ahora exactamente? ¿Tenéis la tecnología desarrollada y tenéis, o sea, cuántas carnicerías tenéis integradas y qué fricción os supone cada carnicería, aparte del proceso comercial para conseguirla?
Bueno, nosotros hemos empezado en Pamplona y antes de nada queremos pilotar esta idea de negocio. Sí que es cierto que ya tenemos firmados contratos con diferentes carnicerías, pero no obstante queremos usar este mes mínimo en pilotar nuestra idea. Tenemos un convenio con el gremio de carnicerías de Navarra y ya hemos hablado con diferentes carnicerías y tenemos contratos firmados.
Un poco, sí. A la hora de hablar con los carniceros, casi todos están agrupados en gremios. El gremio de Barcelona, el gremio de... Pues bueno, en Navarra hay un solo gremio, en Valencia hay otro. Están todos agrupados en gremios. Entonces, bueno, con el de Navarra tenemos ya un acuerdo. Tenemos en principio 25 carnicerías ya en Navarra y luego tenemos un integrante del proyecto que ha sido presidente de la Asociación Española de Carniceros bastantes años. Entonces, bueno, siempre es un plus.
Y un tema, no sé si técnico, con la cámara el cliente puede escoger qué pieza en concreto quiere y es la que recibirá en casa o no.
En principio no, sería la leche, pero la idea es que tú puedes acceder a la cámara y digas, joder, pues mira, al final las piezas están, oye, entrecot, chuletón, tal, todos tienen su ticket debajo que te dice, puedes ver, joder, qué pintaza tiene la chuleta, vas, pum, y la añades.
¿La cámara es en tiempo real o
Sí,
la cámara es en
sí,
tiempo real, no?
Sí.
Pero estaría muy bien lo de elegir la pieza, es buen punto. Gracias.
Luego hablamos si queréis. Luego, otra cosa, vuestro background, tú estás mayorista de carne, dice, ¿y el tuyo?
Yo soy estudiante de Administración de Empresas, voy a acabar este año y eso. Mi experiencia, pues lo justo para 21 años, 22.
Muy bien, sois muy jóvenes, muy bien.
Vale. A ver, a mí me interesa, estaba pensando en lo mismo que Ignacio, ¿no? O sea, ¿qué modelo en el mundo ha verticalizado en lo que es la categoría carne, carnicería, y cruzando este modelo digital y local? Al final, nosotros lo que estamos intentando pensar mientras os escuchamos es cómo se va a comprar carne en el futuro, ¿no? O sea, cómo la gente va a comprar la carne. ¿Es importante la marca de la carnicería en sí? ¿Una marca única tipo Globo, bueno, no, Globo no, tipo, yo qué sé, Uber, el Uber de la carne, ¿no? Que es una marca única, es suficiente para dar seguridad en la carne. ¿Hay que ver la carne o no hay que ver la carne? Yo veo muy complicado el modelo logístico operativo de tener una webcam y ya no digamos elegir la pieza, evidentemente, pero directamente estar viendo en directo, igual el momento en que estás viendo la carne no es el mejor momento para empaquetar la carne y enviarlo en los pedidos. Pero luego o sea, te digo mi opinión y si quieres luego con las cervezas lo comentamos. Entonces, a priori, es un momento muy early, pero me interesaría ver más detalles de lo que estáis consiguiendo y lo que está pasando con una base muy pequeña de usuarios. Si con esta base pequeña de usuarios estáis viendo que sois capaces de convencerles de que compran, cómo actúan y tal, es un mercado suficientemente grande. Habéis hablado de 40 millones al día, una métrica un poco rara para el tamaño de mercado, pero seguro que es muy grande. Entonces, yo creo que hay oportunidad de negocio. En ese sentido, me gustaría saber más de cómo está funcionando este primer experimento. ¿Vale? No habéis hablado de cuánta pasta estáis buscando, pero bueno, luego lo comentamos.
Vale.
Sí, un poco lo que decía también Bernat, y que es en relación a lo que decía Ignacio, ¿no? Es lo mismo, es decir, que este modelo de negocio no exista y que este tipo de marketplace que tienes que buscar un montón de proveedores locales y un montón de clientes locales en mercados como estos, de frutas o el mercado de zapatería, que me da igual, etcétera, no exista, y que existe otro tipo de modelos, como por ejemplo Iruki, que está haciendo lo mismo, ¿no?, que vosotros, pero que no integra carnicería, sino que ellos mismos son marca, generan marca única y a partir de ahí venden sus productos. ¿Hasta qué punto tiene sentido un modelo de negocio basado en marca, carnicería local y escalabilidad del mismo, con toda la dificultad que tiene logística, operativa y tal? Me entran muchas dudas. Es disruptivo, es nuevo, no hay nadie que esté haciendo, eso siempre me gusta, pero tendría que ver lo que escala un poco más, ¿no?
Sí, me estoy planteando el tema de la webcam y la tablet y tal. O sea, la tablet no, el tema de la webcam le da como... Parece interesante, pero me intento imaginar cómo y no es interesante en el fondo. Porque ¿de qué sirve ver un trozo de carne si cuando sirvan tu pedido no será ese trozo de carne, ¿no? Porque ya lo habrán vendido o quizá tienen que ir a la nevera y tal, y para eso pones una foto bonita de un chuletón. O sea, si no es ese, la webcam da un poco igual y complica un poco todo, ¿no? Con lo cual me parece más no sé, una decoración que un valor estratégico para el cliente. Y yo estoy intentando debatirme entre si tiene sentido hacer una gran marca, un gran supermercado totalmente online, sin retail, con lo cual mejoras unos márgenes, tienes unos mataderos propios, warehouses propios y un partnership de distribución y te fías de la marca y tienes unos precios y eso creo que puede tener sentido. Es un mercado enorme, con lo cual esto bien y parece que no está suficientemente cubierto, con lo cual hay negocio ahí. Pero trabajar con estos locales, o sea, con este marketplace, ¿no?, de gente que tampoco tiene mucho dinero seguramente para repartir sus 10%, esto le va a doler mucho. Si yo ya soy cliente de una carnicería, es que está cerca de mi casa, quizá ya me acerco, o le mando un globo que ya tiene todo el follón de la logística y lo pueden amortizar porque tienen un network muy grande de riders, ¿no? O sea, no acabo de encontrar este híbrido que hacéis. A mí casi me encajaría más un gran e-commerce de carne, con vuestro propio producto, vuestra propia marca, vuestro propio marketing de por qué este producto es más orgánico, más fresco, más lo que sea, que a la gente le interese, que el concepto de marketplace. Tal como lo planteáis ahora, yo no invertiría. Con unos meses de rodaje y con números de cuántas carnicerías sois capaces de captar, qué cuesta captar una carnicería, cuántos pedidos hace, la recurrencia puede ser altísima, ¿no? Ahí, porque al final la gente que consume carne siempre. Con métricas se podría ver, tal como lo contáis ahora, para mí no sería una inversión factible. Y como asterisco estaría bien saber qué levantáis, quiénes sois los socios. Asumo que vosotros dos y asumo que levantáis 100.000 euros porque es lo que invertimos aquí, pero son datos útiles para un potencial inversor de cara al próximo pitch o luego en las cervezas. Gracias.
Perfecto, gracias.
Yo por no repetirme, porque estoy de acuerdo más o menos con lo que han dicho, quizá ofreceros un consejo. Hay un supermercado online en Barcelona, que ahora no me puedo acordar cómo se llama, es el Ulabox, coño, Ulabox, que justamente ha hecho esto. Ellos integran carnicerías, fruterías de los mercados y lo ofrecen a los clientes que ellos tienen, ¿no? Entonces quizá podríais observar intentar averiguar de ese proyecto qué es lo que ha funcionado, qué es lo que no funciona, etcétera, porque pudiendo la Vox haber cogido el otro modelo que a todos nos parece más obvio, pues han cogido este, pero no sé si es una parte que es un 1% de su negocio o si es algo que está escalando. Pues os animo a que estudiéis este fenómeno, que es lo más parecido a lo que vosotros queréis hacer, y ver cómo tienen el producto en las tiendas, que ellos ya tienen las fotos, y son fotos más bien genéricas que las de actuales, pero es obvio que las van cambiando, etcétera. Os animo a que lo miráis.
Muy brevemente, solamente, a mí me encanta la idea y os digo el porqué. La compra de productos con código de barras es muy fácil, porque al final sabes lo que compras y te llega a casa, ¿no? La compra de frescos, sea fruta, pescado o carne, yo creo que hay quien quiere saber lo que compra. Hoy en día se compra por confianza, por una box, con la mejor origen, ¿no? Hablo de marcas del local, ¿no? O Corte Inglés, digamos, que es un estándar, digamos, ¿no? Poder decidir que quiero esa pieza y que te llegue esa pieza, yo creo que tiene un valor importante. Lo que no sé es, bueno, hay muchos temas y aquí trabajamos por unanimidad, pero que creo que si conseguís resolver que el comprador obtenga la pieza que está viendo, yo creo que tiene mucho valor. Gracias.
Gracias.
Siguiente proyecto, Alessando. Go ahead.
We're going to stay at more than 1.5 meters. Is it okay if we... Yes? All right. Yeah? Fantastic. Okay, so dear Jordi, Juan, Bertan, Albert, with the honorable presence of Ignacio here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, online community all, welcome to ClinicTrusted. We are the qualified sales lead generator for medical clinics, which envision to materialize the third sustainable goals of the United Nations when it comes to good health and well-being. Nowadays, medical clinics experience a huge loss in their marketing funnel, as they get leads, people looking for treatment which must be qualified by themselves, and they can convert them into real patients in just under 8% of the cases, meaning their customer acquisition cost has doubled over the last 7 years. Here comes ClinicTrusted, the qualified sales lead generator for medical clinics, which doubled their patient at half the price. Before expanding to major medical verticals, it has ophthalmology, dentistry, and reproduction, there is a great opportunity out there. And that opportunity is hair transplant. Since 40% of the adults over 35 years old are currently suffering hair loss, and the market, worth over 8 billion in 2019 alone, is growing by a compound annual growth rate of 26% every year, which means it will become 5 times more by 2026. The great news here is that our MVP is launched. So how does the magic work? We do generate leads, first via paid advertisement, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and then through organic traffic. And we get these leads on our landing page. And the leads, here comes the magic, is automatically qualified. What does it mean? It means that we do already get hair picture and medical assessment so that clinics, and they love us, we already have 19 on board, do know that he is suitable for the operation itself. This is also part of our secret sauce. None of our competitors is currently provided qualified leads. And this, combined with our profitability, by being conservative, our customer acquisition cost is around 29 euros. We have validated with over 100 clinics that we are able to sell this with an average price of 35 euros. By selling this to 5 clinics, this accounts to 76 euros profit per each lead, or 2.6 multiplier when it comes to profitability per lead. But this is not all. because our business model is actually a B2B, usage-based subscription model based on how many qualified leads that the clinics get per month. There is a different package. And with the premium one, which comes at $899 per month, thanks to our partnership with Infusionsoft, we even help them to automatize marketing and sales processes. Now, we are hereby asking 100K. 53.2% of which comes into marketing expensive for lead generation and our first hiring, a social marketing manager. But you frankly may forget about everything I said up to now, and I will give you a single reason to invest in us. And that reason is us, the people. My phenomenal co-founder and the CEO, Kaan, he built the product. He's a senior digital marketing manager with over 7 years of experience in digital marketing alone. And when it comes to myself, Alex, I led my previous startup to top 10 national level with Techstars. I have working experience in 5 countries and am certified to be beyond the 98% of intelligence. And all together, we are ClinicTrusted. Thank you for your time. Ready for your questions. Audience, any question?
Could you please be a bit more specific on how do you get leads at 29 euros, and why wouldn't a normal clinic be able to get those at that price? So what do you do to get them so cheap?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, it's not very practical and not possible for a clinic to hire a very specialized, knowledgeable digital marketing person. That's one of the reasons. So how we can get the leads? The cost per click is defined by Google, is given to you, and the cost per conversion from a marketing campaign is defined as well. When we did the math, and we also more or less confirmed this in reality, it's 29 euros is possible. Why clinics cannot do it? Because they cannot hire people, because it's costly for them. And one benefit for us, even if we get it for a higher price, because we sell the same leads after we qualify to 5 clinics, we have a higher profit margin. If a lead costs for a clinic for 50 euros, they cannot make money out of it. But if a lead costs to us, let's say even 70 euros, because we sell it to 5 clinics after qualifying it, we still make money. So our business model is much more profitable compared to a single clinic.
And it is vital to add that this guy, he has over 7 years of experience in hair transplantation alone.
Digital marketing in hair transplant industry, but I also had I also had experience in the education side of the digital marketing as well.
If I'm allowed, I had a follow-on question, which is, what is the qualification process? Why are those leads so good?
Yeah, sure. So basically, my experience in digital marketing is also sales and marketing automation. So we use tools and technologies and processes which automatically qualify the prospects. What it involves in hair transplants specifically is you need to get first the photos of a particular patient. So no photos, no qualification. And we know from the clinics they struggle to get photos, and in most of the clinics are not very tech savvy, so they don't have automation in sales and marketing in place. So they wouldn't be able to qualify the leads with the rates that we qualify. So that is one of our core advantages as well, because our rate of qualification is much higher than a generic one branch clinic, I would say.
Yeah.
So the key is having a photo.
Yeah, I mean, we need to have the photo. Then a couple of health questions as well, like if they have HIV or diabetes, etc. But that's the initial qualification, which is ready for the clinics to book the patient or not. So once we have that, once a clinic has that information, then everything is up to the clinic to convince the person that they are the right clinic or not. Yeah.
And it is vital to specify that this is not just a competitive edge, but we plan to empower these by an AI inside built price scoring and optimization algorithm for the lead, which means that the lead is not just uniquely priced, but based on how responsive he is, how fast he's looking for an hair transplantation, what is the budget, what is the nationality, there is going to be a very different price. And what clinics love is that, of course, all clinics, they can provide different services and there is different budget. And already there, they can see already this guy who is not garbage as the other competitors. Because what the other competitors do is that they do already provide automatically a lead, meaning a person goes in the website, provides name, surname, photo, and name, surname, telephone number, and email, and that is automatically given to the clinics. But guess what? This is not qualified. They cannot convert them. We do just provide the core specification here. Yes, please.
Perfect. So, Kaan.
Kaan,
right?
yes, yeah.
Looking at your LinkedIn profile,
Correct.
I see that you have indeed been doing this for almost 9 years with a company called Get Hair.
Yes, correct.
Which it looks pretty much the same you're describing now.
Not exactly.
So can you walk us through what
sure.
Get Hair is and what it is today?
Get Hair, in its essence, is a medical tourism agency specializing in hair transplant only. But I realized many years ago, actually, that it's not possible to scale a medical tourism agency. So this current model we propose is completely different than a travel agency. We are clinic agnostic, as well as, because our mindset, we want to target also other verticals as well. So we are not focused on hair transplant. It's easy for us to start with the hair transplant. So we are clinic agnostic and vertical agnostic. Get Hair is a hair transplant travel agency which works with 2 doctors only. So I see quite a difference in the business model.
And can you briefly summarize how the company fared? Like how many customers did you manage to serve? And
at Get Hair?
At Get Hair, yeah.
So in the best year, we managed to ship, in quotation marks, 600 patients from UK, because UK was our main customer group, a patient group. But now, for instance, with ClinicTrusted, we do not want to focus in UK at the beginning as well, because there are Spain is the market for Turkish clinics, I know. Italy is a good market. So basically, we want to scale the business in many verticals. 650, so more than close to 2,000 patients we did, but it's not 9 years. By the way, Get Hair is not 9 years project. It's less than 9 years. 2013-ish, we start properly running the business, and we start from zero.
Let's go to feedback.
Okay. So I'll start.
Sure.
I mean, I already took a look at the project a couple of days ago because you submitted some material, so it was great to be able to meet you and hear firsthand. You are basically proposing a better way of generating leads for some verticals, and I understand the market is huge, but I'm not convinced on what's the secret sauce to generating better leads. I understand that the photo adds value, but that doesn't feel to me like a huge barrier to entry. Like I can imagine a marketing agency that serves many different customers figuring this out and setting up a type form or like a very simple MVP. So I would need to see really what's the key to generating these leads at scale and with constant low price to make this really profitable. And I haven't seen that yet. But now we don't do follow-ups, but we can chat afterwards. Thanks.
Kind of equal that unless I can see the secret sauce is really secret, and I can see something really differential there in terms of technology or whatever, I don't see that right now. So I will be interested for myself. So you can recommend me, a good clinic, but I wouldn't invest there.
Thank you for the presentation. I would be a target user as well. But in terms of looking at the investment, so what I would be trying to understand is how can you get to 100 million euros in revenue in very fast? No? That's what we're trying to look. We know reality always is harder, no? But we need to understand a way through to get to that point. And
did you say 100 million euros?
100 million. 100 million, yeah. That's a VC ideal. No, it's different if you go to another kind of investor. But if you go to venture capital, you're looking for hyper growth and great scalability. And what I see you have is an interesting opportunistic value that you can generate to a very specific niche that can produce money for yourself, which is great. I mean, this is great. I mean, if you can make business out of this opportunity, it's great. That doesn't mean that we as investors could be interested in something that has so few barriers of entry. So as Jordi was saying, anybody can do that. And there's no barrier, there's no technology, there's no patent, there's no... In fact, we know Dr. Alia, Doc Planner, they happen to be doing that for the whole sector, and they started 20 years ago, 15 years ago, no? And they rely heavily on organic traffic, and they also do, of course, paid traffic, but they rely on organic traffic, and since they were one of the pioneers, they ate the market, just along with top doctors that you probably know as well. So it's a market that's quite divided already. So we don't do the directories. We always, every week we see a new directory. We don't do directories. We would have done directories 15 years ago maybe. Now we don't. We look for more transactional models that can have a faster go-to-market, that can capture more value in the transaction. So that is the reason for all the things that I just said, that I would not be looking at an investment in your project. Thank you very much.
I was going to say exactly the same. So encourage you to pursue it, but not with VC, which is fine. It's one of the beauties. If the economics are close to what you mentioned, which I trust they can be, you don't need a lot of money to get this started. So go ahead and jump into it, and maybe once you have a lot of success, something else will come up that requires VC money, but maybe not now.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Nothing to add other than that I am also target client of your service. Yeah. Thank you.
At least we made some money.
Okay, next would be Vanessa. Es cuando le he pagado, ¿eh? Es una prueba, es una prueba. Ha reaccionado bien.
Si alguien que está mal del corazón aquí.
You prefer in English, right? So I'll do it in English since, okay. So my name is Vanessa. I'm a fashion designer. I've always worked in the fashion industry, so I know quite well the problems the industry brings to the planet and to the people, sorry. And that's why I created Ours. Ours is luxury fashion rental peer-to-peer. It's basically like an Airbnb of premium fashion. And our market is women living in Spain, ages from 25 to 55 years old, roughly. And they just need to be passionate about fashion, basically. The problems I've encountered were, first of all, obviously fashion is the second most polluting industry in the world. Most of us women have our wardrobes filled with things that we don't wear on a regular basis, and we kind of feel guilty about it. We have a lot of whims, which are usually expensive on our wallet and on the planet. And we love luxury brands, but it's very hard to access them because of their prices. So with our platform, we allow members to access an infinite number of premium pieces for a much cheaper price, which means that we are reducing the need to buy, therefore production. All of our whims are now possible and cheaper, and they have a zero impact on the planet. We can now finally access a luxury market because we are just paying a portion of the price. And our owners, they are making a profit out of those pieces that they don't wear regularly, and therefore it gives them a purpose and removes the guilt attached to it. So how do we make money? How are we profitable? We charge a 30% fee on each rental, And we don't hold any stock, so we don't have any logistics or product costs. And this is also one of the reasons why I think we are more sustainable than other rental options, because we use things that already exist. It's like a circular zero waste model. And yeah, we are like a shared economy meets the luxury second-hand market, which are two markets that are growing exponentially, so the numbers are on our side. And yeah, I'm here basically because I think it's a good time to grow this business in Spain, since it's booming in other countries, and I need expertise in other fields. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to be part of a market which is expected to reach $1.8 billion globally by 2023. And that's it. And I can answer your questions in English or Spanish, whatever you prefer.
Thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
So the use case that you're explaining us is, I have some clothes that I bought, they are expensive, and I want to rent them to other people to wear.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yes. You don't want to sell them, you still want to keep it, and you want to make a profit out of them, and yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, the members in our community are sharing, in theory, the pieces that they don't wear on a regular basis.
So there's somebody else who's using my clothes during a while. For how long?
We have periods from 4, 10, and 21 days. Okay. Thinking about weekends, weddings,
and they pay how much on average?
Depends. It depends on the PVP of the price. Each owner can set the rental price. It's their decision. We usually say around 5 to 15% of the PVP price. And but
do you have an estimate? How much could it be?
Yeah, of course. If it's like a 1,000 euros dress, it's usually around 80 to 100 euros per 4 days.
Okay, and at some point in time, this gets back to me?
Of course, yeah.
So the person himself or herself brings it to me, or it's sent?
There's different options that you can choose from. You can choose, there's different delivery options, and the owner has...
You don't manage that, the logistics?
No, no. Like each owner can decide which delivery method they are more comfortable with. Yeah.
And does it come clean? Do I have to clean it myself?
No, owner has to do the cleaning. So when you get your item, it needs to be clean and in good conditions.
So I need to the owner, have to clean it afterwards?
Yeah, the owner takes care of cleaning, yeah.
What if it has a hole?
The client, the one who rented, has to pay for it.
How do you manage this conflict?
Because we advise people to take photos of immediately when they first of all, keep the receipts of the delivery, and take photos. Of course, if something is not it's not in order, they have to take photos, and they have to contact. There's a chat in the site first of all, so the members can clear out some questions, or if they have any doubts. So they have to inform the owner that the article is not in good conditions, or something was ruined, and they have to inform us. And in theory, they have to decide between the two, the owner and the client.
So the owner has to expect that the money is sent to his account?
Sorry?
The owner has to have to wait until the money comes to his account for the...
If he gets rude? No.
Yeah, if there's a problem with a...
If there's a problem, they have to, when they decide imagine the cost is 50 euros.
Yeah.
We pay for it, and then they need to pay us.
So you are the one responsible. You pay the owner.
Yeah. Sorry.
The cloth is damaged after it has been sent. So the person uses the cloth, but it damages, makes a hole, and the owner gets it back.
Yeah.
Who pays for the cloth, which has a hole?
What do you mean? If it's completely damaged?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I thought it was just, if it's completely... Yeah, I mean, if it's just a small debit, if it's something, the client pays for it, if it's a big bag, I mean, the client always has to be responsible for the item in hand. But we also have an insurance that covers up until €1,000, and we are now in conversations with an insurance company, a Swedish insurance company, which works with this type of platforms to install a better insurance service, so we can cover up until €1,000 or €1,000 of the value market of the piece, not the PVP price of the piece. So we can, especially for owners, I saw it was one of their pains, was that of course if my piece gets damaged or gets stolen, it's one of the things, the big issues in this kind of business. Yeah.
Do you have a statistic on how often this kind of situation happens, so that the damaged dress comes back to you?
If I have statistics?
Yeah.
No.
10% of the situations, less, more?
No, because as far as I'm aware, there's no kind of platform like this in Spain, and the ones I know, basically the ones that are working very well are in the UK, and I haven't read any information about this kind of statistics from their sides.
Sorry, are you sure that owners of the kind of pieces you want to rent are open to share their property? And if they do you think they bother about having some profit about that ownership?
I think there's two kind of owners. I think there's the owner that, yes, does want to make a profit out of there, because, I mean, people are selling their clothes, so I think a lot of them would like to have the option to rent and still keep the clothes without just selling them and not having them. And then I think there's another kind of owners which might do it just because it's a way of doing something for the planet, because I think it's something that we are becoming more aware that everyone needs to be a bit more responsible when it comes to sustainability and like conscious living. And I think this is a way that people can feel better about themselves, to be honest, when they look at their wardrobes full of like expensive things.
We'll move on to feedback now.
My concerns, which I just said,
yeah.
I am not sure whether people are so conscious about these things, for one side, and for the other, I see all the risks and the logistics very complex to achieve.
Okay.
I would like to know more about how is your real state of development and your metrics, and whether there is, what percentage of owners are open to play this game, and how really it works in the practical way.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume the leap of faith, that this system works in other countries, because I've heard about it, and I think it is successful. So, despite a lot of the concerns here, I believe it does. So what would refrain me from investing would be probably the fact that if the value proposition is I'm going to do it in Spain, as your big claim, it might be small, because it could be maybe easier for somebody who's doing it very successfully in other countries to come to Spain. Might be a not very easy to defend strategy. So that would be my...
I said I was going to do it in Spain because I'm starting in Spain, but the idea is to obviously expand. Yeah.
I agree with this last part. So if this is so scalable, because you're a platform, you're not getting involved in logistics or anything else, then anybody can do it. So these competitors that doing it successfully can also do it successfully here, just like Airbnb is doing it here and everywhere else. I really would have to understand this model at a small scale. So if you have some users that are already using it, and we do here in the pitch, we see a lot of entrepreneurs who are doing rental of luxury clothes. So that's indeed something that it has to be a trend. It has to be booming, because otherwise we wouldn't see so many projects. We haven't seen a peer-to-peer model yet on this space. For me, it's hard to believe that people can rent their clothes and have them back and solve all these conflicts. But it was hard to believe Airbnb in the beginning as well. That's true. So if you would have a small model working, proving that this is working, generating recurrency, and it works, then I could consider looking at it.
Can I just say one thing?
Later.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of have the same concern. It looks like this model is culturally tied to some countries, like Saxon countries, like the US, UK. I don't know to what extent you can develop this market in Spain. I'm afraid that maybe people get rid of kind of disposable clothes, but it's not attractive for the market. And not really, other type of clothes. And if this model can work in Spain, I don't see the barriers for these folks to come over here and do the same. So,
I think projecting the global ambition, if it's there, right away and very strongly is critical, because most projects here don't do that. I think with Bonameat, there is a good reason to operate in this market, nationally, because it's a massive market. So in that case, I would understand, okay, Spain is a really big market for a business like that. For a purely tech business, it really needs to be global. So starting clearly stating why you're doing this globally and how you're proving that this can be global soon, I think is critical to the success. And I think that the best and the worst of this business idea you're sharing with us is the fact that you are pushing a lot of the complexity and risk to the users. So this is fantastic, because it's high margin, low complexity business for you. But then, like, the question is it worth the hassle? For both parts of the transaction, is it worth the hassle of figuring out logistics, picking things up, bringing them to the dry cleaning, arguing over stains and stuff like that? So this is something that you could convince investors with by showing metrics of usage, growth, recommendation rates, and then there is a whole question mark about the marketing, like customer acquisition and retention metrics, which would be critical to understand that this is a big enough pain that it can grow efficiently with a small take rate and without getting involved in the whole value chain. So I would say, if you have great metrics, excited to see them. If you don't yet, maybe it's too early to consider an investment.
Okay.
Thank you very much for presenting.
You're welcome.
Vamos a hacer una pequeño break para explicar quién es Ignacio. Siempre te digo tu nombre en catalán y luego cambio en castellano. Realmente, ¿qué prefieres, en catalán o en castellano?
Me da igual.
Vale.
No sé Ignacio, pero...
Ignacio.
But I can then speak in Catalan.
Ay, sí, perdona.
I can speak in Catalan or Spanish, but the name is Ignacio, because...
You lived in the US, you were born in Barcelona,
yes,
you're from everywhere.
Exactly.
Vale, ¿lo hacemos en castellano? We said in English. Okay, English. Can you explain us a little bit, in a nutshell, what's Nerethy?
Nerethy is a venture capital fund. We have different investment strategies, but one of the ones that are different investment verticals, if you like. One of the ones by which we're better known is the investment in the digital economy, if you like, no? The typical VC who invest in early stage startups like you guys here. But besides this practice, we also do biotech, and then venture debt, which is a vehicle of debt, for a kind of larger companies. And now we even have a convertible debt fund for companies which are quoted companies in the small exchanges, and so on and so forth. So we've diversified from our original, let's say, startup VC.
Differentiated from typical VC, you're doing lots of stages. You're investing in different stages, you have different investment products.
Exactly.
No?
Which is what I was, exactly.
Yeah. So how can you manage all of these different vehicles, different kind of investments, do you use different teams?
Exactly. We have different, we are a partnership, and every partner, and we have, we're 6, manages a different vertical in our operation. And I myself, I'm the CEO of the company, but I manage particularly the digital side, the VC, the early stage VC.
Since you started, how many projects have you invested? In how many projects have you invested, and how much money?
Okay, we have raised some 600 million, more or less, of which we probably invested around 400 or something like that in more than probably around not quite 150 companies or something like that. And I'm talking about all the funds in all the different disciplines.
Most of the investments have been early stage investments?
Most of the investments are from the IT and the biotech funds, which are very early stage. We invest very small tickets at the beginning, anywhere from 200 to €1 million, and then we do follow-ons eventually, but we're very focused in this in our VC practice in early stage.
How long do you stay in the company? So do you do follow-on investment forever? There's a point in which you go out of the company?
We stay in the company. As our vocation is to live as early as possible, obviously, because we want to return the money to our investors. But we would normally stay in average 5, 6, 7 years in the company, but this doesn't mean that we go to all the different rounds, because our funds are small, and in a given fund, after Series A, we do not invest anymore. Besides, potentially Series B, but not much more. This is with the original funds. Then what it happens in many cases is that a given company is then invested by another of our funds, which do later stage.
Okay.
Okay.
What could make you get to make these exceptions? No. What could make you go to these B rounds, C rounds? What could happen in this company that you would do that?
So, normally would be that the company doesn't have a very large round, that is, and there are no other investors. But normally, after a Series A, we let somebody else take the lead, another big fund take the lead, and then we would, if our ticket is not necessary to kind of to support the company or anything like that, then we will not go.
Mm-hmm. What have been your biggest success in terms of company you invested with?
Yeah, the biggest success is a unicorn, right? Which is MassMobile. MassMobile was is a billion. It was sold recently for $5 billion, and we were one of the original investors. So that was
second and third.
And
this is quite famous.
MassMobile is quite famous. Last year we sold a company to Facebook for 50 million. Then we have floated in the small exchange markets 5 companies, and today they have valuations in these quarter markets that go between 100 to 400 million, so they starting to become very valuable. In particular, Atris, a company in the biomedical space, which has recently made an IPO to another big company. So we've done a few.
The VC model is a model that looks for an outlier, and you definitely found an outlier with MassMobile. And it's quite famous how your LPs are very happy with the returns of that fund.
Sure.
That's incredible, this case. But what's the profile of the entrepreneur that you are looking for in this early stage phase of a project in which there's still nothing? What do you look for in the team, in the project?
we would look for a combination of vision, right? So we like people who have a very good understanding of the market in which they want to play, and they know why what they're doing is a disruption, and therefore can generate a big money. So that capability of see-through change, where nobody else has seen it, is one of the things we like the most. And then we would go to things very more common, if you like, that the team would show some leadership, and how you show leadership, that you've been able to recruit a good team. So we look very much at the people that the founders have been able to engage, even if it is only 2 or 3 because it's a very small team, but who are those people, and how did they come together? And sometimes you recognize that the way 3 or 4 people have come together is because there is one who has some sort of magnet, that has some charisma that help him recruit, and that would be very important, because that's what our startups or everybody's have to do. They have to recruit talent, and talent attracts talent, and so that'd be one of the things that we would be looking at.
Was that the case of MásMóvil?
The company, when we invested, wasn't so much. It had already 4 or 5 million revenue, so it was not so small. But yes, we liked a lot Maney. We thought that he could pull it off.
What have been your 3 last investments?
3 last investments. We invested in one in aerospace. We closed last week, I think it was, or no, almost 3 weeks. In aerospace is a company who's building electric motors, to put in satellites. In these satellites that go in very low orbits and normally have no motors, so they start spinning till they fall. So with these very, very light motors they're building, they'll be able to put motors in satellites that they don't have today, so they'll be able to spin longer, if you like. And you know how this is one of the biggest trends in technology today, is the whole aerospace industry is growing a lot since Elon Musk decided to know that the things could be done different in aerospace. It has created a great revolution, and we have already 3 companies in aerospace in our portfolio. That was one. Another one is in data management, a company who's helping streamline the whole process of curating the data, so that it's easier then for the whole AI industry, which requires a lot of data and has to be kind of treated, let's say, streamline the process of extracting data, information from this data. That would be a second one. And then we also closed a little bit a few months earlier a wallet for Bitcoin, for a cryptocurrency, a cryptocurrency exchange, which is doing, as you can imagine, extremely well.
Yeah?
Yeah, obviously everybody in crypto is doing very well today. So we were lucky there that we invested at the right time.
What sectors, markets are you looking at?
So that's in general we look at as you probably have seen from my answers, deep tech. We like a lot the underlying technologies that enable the digital world. So all the disciplines of artificial intelligence, with cybersecurity, IoT, and IT infrastructure, telecom, etc. Everything that goes in making everything that probably has been presented today uses it one way or another. Eventually, we will do some B2C, but not a lot. It has to have. If we get into B2C, it will have to be capital efficient or have a strong differentiator, a strong kind of barrier of entry. An exception would be, for example, Volava. I don't know if you know. It's a peloton of Spain, and we thought it had some good barriers of entry.
Today we were discussing a project that was doing American model or somewhere else models in Spain. Volava was one of these cases.
It's a copycat, yes, because it is exactly not looking at what Peloton was doing. But one of the reasons why we ended up investing is because I realized the CEO was not a guy he had a very profound understanding of the market and the product. It came from a product marketing mentality, not from a land grab, let's get the Spanish market mentality. He was not a go-to-market mentality, but a product mentality, which I love, and has allowed this has allowed him to take the business into different kind of in ways that it can differentiate enough from Peloton to be valuable. It's a long story, but a very interesting one. Well, you had Joel in your.
We had Joel here. We look at the project. We didn't invest, but we did a podcast, very interesting podcast. Yeah. By the way, we also did a podcast with Ignacio, very interesting as well.
He's a great guy.
How is it doing?
He's doing very well.
Yeah?
Very well. Again, he also has had a little bit of help with the pandemic, right? Because as you can imagine, well, everybody who's doing bikes today is doing very well. But now we're not constrained anymore, and he's still doing very, very well.
Okay, last question. You're a convinced investor in blockchain.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I believe that we follow technology very much, no? And to put it very, very simple, if internet was the digitalization of information and created a big change as we know, right? It came all the communication changes, all the email, the Web 2.0 with all the social networks and all that. It was a huge thing, no? And we only digitize one thing, which is information, right? With blockchain, you digitize assets, which is a little bit abstract, no? But you can, for example, money is an asset, and with blockchain you can digitalize it. You can digitalize ownership, no? Think about an asset could be a mortgage, no? And a mortgage is the most difficult thing to deal with today, no? You have to go to the notary. 800 people have to be involved to create something which could be represented digitally. And blockchain does that. So the digitalization of assets could be in itself as important as the digitalization of information, and thus create a huge revolution, and it is already creating it. And we, for example, like very much what's happening in decentralized finance, the fact that a contract, which is a software piece, which emulates a contract, can substitute a bank in creating lending and deposit operations, is creating a revolution in the finance industry that has not been seen I mean, the whole finance industry since it was created 2,000 years before Christ is based on the principle that two peers get together, maybe through an intermediary, a bank, to exchange something. With software, this has changed completely. Is people get independently in relationship with a piece of software to get something in exchange. And this piece of software creates all the rules, and it's not intermediated. It's changing finance forever, and that's amazingly interesting. So we believe it, and we want to invest more, and we hope there be more projects of this nature in Barcelona, because we think it's going to be one of the drivers of growth in the entrepreneurial system.
So any blockchain project, for those entrepreneurs listening to us, they should come to you.
They should, definitely, even if they are in very early, very early stage.
Do they need to be very technical, or it can be regular business people, which happens a lot? I mean, business people
yeah,
doing
it is.
blockchain.
I mean, we would rather have some technical. It's one of the things we like about this thing. It's really transformational thanks to software. No, there are a lot of scams, if you like, around the crypto world. A lot of scams, and a lot of them are the ones which are light in technology. No, so you have to have a little bit of understanding, at least, of where the opportunities are. If you know where the opportunities are, then you'll be able to hire a technical guy. But you have to be aware of where those technical issues are. So know what you don't know would be enough for us.
Do you have a technical guy yourselves?
We have.
In Inverready?
We're studying it a lot. It happens with all the disciplines. If you ask me, I don't know anything. I'm not an expert in cybersecurity or in artificial intelligence or in data mining, but
satellites.
Or satellites. But we used to study those things. So we're studying right now. Every Wednesday we have a lunch, all the employees, where everybody once per week prepares something related with that field, for example. So we're making a conscious kind of effort, if you like, to learn about it.
Great. Thank you, Ignacio. We know where you are. We're sending entrepreneurs.
Thank you for the invitation.
Next project is Nadia.
Hello everyone, my name is Nadia. I'm the CEO and founder of NaturLove. So today I'm going to explain you the story of what is behind of NaturLove. Basically, 60% of 60% of women and 40% of men suffer from sexual dysfunction at some point of their lives. So either as a one-time thing or either as a recurrent issue. But the biggest problem is that these people, they are embarrassed to talk about the sexual dysfunction. Therefore, they also don't know where to find a confidential solution. So NaturLove is a platform that wants to be open to these people and wants to help these people to feel confident and to feel comfortable as well talking with our team. As well as we want to offer like guidance to them and a solution as well, like the best solution possible for each case, each different case. So NaturLove offers different solutions. One of them is free personalized guidance from our customer service team. Also, we offer online sexual therapy run by a professional sexologist team. We also have a marketplace of erotic products specialized on sexual related problems and sexual dysfunctions. And also we are working on an educational program through the Sex Education Film Festival that we are also creating like a short film festival about sexual education. Because we think that, we know that one of the causes of these sexual-related issues is the lack of sexual education. What makes NaturLove different from other competitors? We know that there is quite a lot of competition in this industry, but what makes different NaturLove is that there is a full-service platform. We offer everything from starting the journey of the person who comes, who presents, who talks about their sexual related issue. We understand them, we try to talk in a normal way to them to make them feel comfortable. And also we guide them on which is the best solution for them, either with a product, if it's just like an issue that is one time or it's just like a few times, or through the online sexual therapy service that we offer, as well as, well, the educational part as well. So basically, we are a team of 5. It's me, the CEO, and the marketing director, also the customer service, the content writer, a CTO, and also a digital marketing assistant. The business model is really simple. Basically, it's just we get around 39 to 40% of margin on the products. And we also have a 20% commission on every customer who gets into the sexual therapy service. Our main goal for 2021 is to get our first investment round. That's why I'm here. Also to grow the team, to finish to develop all the operational part in the website, and to create our own branded products. Thank you very much. So welcome to the questions.
Don't want to break anything. Well, first of all, thanks for ruining my retargeting, because as a man in my mid-30s, between the hair transplant website and your website, I'm going to be grilled for the next few months. So thanks.
No worries, you can come to NaturLove.
So you're an e-commerce, basically.
Well, it started, so basically, yes, it started 2 years ago as an e-commerce, but I saw, me and my team actually, we saw the opportunity to focus into these sexual-related issues, as we saw a lot of our customers that they really come to NaturLove to look for a solution. They are really, really lost. They don't know where to find a solution. And so that's why now the business model is turning into, there is the e-commerce part, of course, but more we are adding more related products related to sexual issues, but also like the platform is becoming more a full service.
So content
Content
plus
and sexual therapy.
Which is therapy, one-to-one therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
so
also content, the educational part.
Okay, and the therapy is run by a third party.
Yeah,
so you're
for now, yes, but the idea is to, because it got implemented last week, well, not 2 weeks ago, so we are trying testing. It was the easier way for us to implement it quickly, so we want to test it, and once we think it's good and it's well implemented and the customers understand the service, so we would like to bring it in-house.
I hope your partners are not listening right now. So the e-commerce, there are 3 different businesses then, and we need to understand them separately.
So it's a full service platform.
The e-commerce part is basically around privacy and discretion and education of the products, no?
Yeah.
So why can Amazon not offer this? Because they already have like a private packaging option, and I'm guessing they sell similar products to those that you sell.
Yeah, but Amazon doesn't offer a personalized guidance.
No, but the e-commerce part, so if I'm interested and I get your content and then I want to buy, I'll probably buy the cheapest and fastest, and Amazon will probably be the cheapest and fastest, no?
Yeah, because you are not a lost customer who you probably know which product you want to find, right? But the people who comes to NaturLove is people that they don't know which product is going to solve the issue.
Yeah. Well, and you can fix that with your own brands. So I'm trying to connect these different products together. So you attract people with the content part, with the education, and with the personalized sessions, and then you offer them your own branded content with higher margin and harder to compare with existing e-commerce platforms.
Well, when we have our own branded products, yes.
Okay, and geographically, what's the scope of the project?
So, well, first, we are already operating in Spain. In a year time, we want to open the market to Latin America, because we already have quite a lot of traffic in Latin America. And then after, we want to go to Europe.
Okay. And do you have metrics? Because you have the website looks like it works. So what's how many customers, average order value, repetitivity?
The average order value currently is 30 euros. In Q1 2021, the turnover was 24K, and last year the turnover for the whole year was 55K. But the estimations for this year is to reach 200K.
Hi, you started the business 3 years ago as an e-commerce, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Selling products, and you didn't get traction there, and that's the reason why you pivoted to give more value, providing counseling. Am I right?
No.
No, okay.
So 2 years ago, I started by myself the project. I was working part-time because I had a job as well. So, then when I was running when the business started running, so I realized that a lot of the people who comes to the website, so they come and they ask through the chat online, through email, or via telephone. So they ask for a solution. They don't know which product they should get. So maybe they have a problem with a partner. Maybe they need something because they are in a monotony relationship. Maybe they just lost their libido.
Because to use this kind of product, you need to have a dysfunctional problem, right? Or can you use them if you don't have a dysfunctional problem?
It's not just dysfunctional problem. It's all sexual related issues. So a sexual related issue can be a lack of lubrication, for instance. Mm-hmm. So it's not it's just everything who makes your sexuality to be less enjoyable.
So right now that you're making 55,000, you made last year 55,000.
55K last year, and this QA 24K.
24.
Q1. Sorry. 24K.
How much is coming from products and how much is coming from counseling?
Sorry, how much is coming from products and how much is coming from?
Counseling from this service that you have, what's called counseling, right? It's counseling. Sexual therapy.
Well, no, as I said, the sexual therapy service, it got implemented 2 weeks ago. So we just got one customer from that, but basically all the rest is, so just everything is coming from products, but products specialize on sexual related issues.
Okay, and do you have any differential product that doesn't have the rest of the competitors?
No. Well, to be honest, are quite similar, but the competitors actually are specialized on younger public, while NaturLove is specialized on older public.
I think it's time, no? Yeah, so we go to feedback. I understand that the niche you are targeting, probably it's relevant. It's more relevant than we all think. What I don't understand here is the business. So you're targeting a niche and you're offering everything to the niche, which is interesting probably, but at a small scale it's interesting, but at a large scale it has scalability problems. So businesses, in order to scale, they need to do something good, one thing very good, and put a lot of effort into that one thing. At least that's been my experience. So if you're trying to build a business of therapy on one side, build an e-commerce in another side, it's going to be hard as you grow to invest in all those businesses at the same time. So my question would be, maybe that makes sense today in order to gather demand. I would have to understand where you're going with that. So how big can it get? I'm unsure. I would have to look at the metrics a little bit more. I know Plátano Melón, for example, and some brands that are doing quite well in this space, doing digital native virtual brands that are doing quite well. So maybe there's something, there's a trend that I could look at. So
yeah. Well, thank you for your feedback. Can I say something?
We can do it later.
Okay, that's fine.
I would encourage you to think big. The space is huge. Wellness is a super trend, and there is a lot of VC money in that space. And when I see your website is .es, it kind of puts me down, no? Because it might not be as aggressive, or the fact that
So I have the domain as well of UK,
Well,
FR,
it could be,
IT.
no, sorry,
I already have the
that-
domains of all the other countries.
That's a good move. The fact, for example, that you if branding is important, the fact that you're postponing it, just think big. That'd be my.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I think it's an interesting focus. I understand the scalability of contents and e-commerce. I should understand the scalability of the counseling. How do you will scale the fact of offering consultancy? Because at the end it's a one-to-one service, and this I think it has some complexity and some difference between countries. I would like to understand this way, not now. Other than that, I think it's an interesting focus.
Okay,
Thank you.
So first of all, congratulations on the revenues and the results that you already got, because I think it's very hard to start selling stuff and you already have a business. I would love to see how much does this revenue cost you? You know, what's bringing these customers to the platform? How repeating are their pattern, their behaviors and stuff like that? And I think everything you pitch needs to settle down and become one value proposition, because right now it's too dispersed and it doesn't sound like a smooth operation. Like, I think you have a lot of good ideas and you're definitely selling stuff, and there's definitely a massive market, and there is probably a reason to do all the things that you're doing, but I think it needs a little bit of, chewing it down to like a one clear path of like A to B to C, and that's the order, and that's what I do now, and that's what's going to happen in 6 months, 12 months, whatever. And then, she will happen and you will change along the way. But I think you have potentially an interesting business and an investable business, especially if you target a broader geographical market, which you probably can with today's partners and technologies. So looking forward to hear more about the company. Thanks for presenting.
Thank you.
Me han oído ya, ¿no? Javier.
Sí, son dos. Gracias. ¿Cojo esta o esta?
Sí, és que aquest és més llarg.
Vale. Buenas tardes. ¿Va? ¿Funciona? Hola. 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 ¿Funciona o no? Sí. Vale. Buenas tardes, somos Javier y Alex. Es un placer presentar nuestro proyecto Nerethy Shop SL en el día de hoy. Y bueno, ¿qué es Nerethy, no? Nerethy es un marketplace online de moda donde se encuentran las mejores marcas emergentes de España en un mismo site. Y bueno, vimos una necesidad actualmente, que es que actualmente el mundo de la moda se está universalizando cada vez más. Es decir, todo el mundo compra en las mismas marcas de siempre, en los mismos sitios de siempre, como puede ser H&M, Zara, Nike, y vimos una necesidad de que una parte de la sociedad se quería diferenciar del resto a la hora de vestir, quería vestir diferente con prendas limitadas y exclusivas, y bueno, y por eso creamos en Nerethy. Y bueno, para salir de estos estándares, Nerethy ofrece al consumidor una manera de diferenciarse y de vestir diferente al resto. Y bueno, de competencia tenemos, por ejemplo, a Zalando y Asos, que también son marketplace de moda, pero actualmente no existe ningún marketplace que sea especializado a marcas emergentes. Entonces vimos una oportunidad en este mercado y creamos hace un año Nerethy en plena pandemia. Bueno, otro valor añadido que tenemos en la empresa es la idea de soporte small business, que actualmente los pequeños negocios están sufriendo las consecuencias de la pandemia.
Sí, bueno, aparte otro problema que había en la sociedad era que cuando alguien quería encontrar una marca, pues le era muy difícil, una marca de estas emergente, poco conocida, le era muy difícil, no la encontraba, no se acordaba de su nombre, y entonces lo que hace Nerethy es hacer como una selección de las mejores marcas del mercado y las unifican en un mismo site. Aparte, lo que hace Nerethy es también, cuando el cliente entra, pues puede descubrir nuevas marcas y que se conviertan en sus favoritas. Bueno, luego, nuestro modelo de negocio se basa en un 20% de comisión aproximadamente con todas las marcas y funcionamos gracias al dropshipping, que bueno, significa que cuando alguien nos compra, nosotros compramos el mismo producto a la marca afiliada y la marca afiliada lo envía directamente a nuestro cliente. Y bueno, en cuanto un poco a números, llevamos ya un año y bueno, creemos que con una inversión inicial de tan solo 5.000 euros, pues hemos conseguido algunos números bastante buenos, que son, por ejemplo, contamos ya con más de 35 marcas. En todo el año donde ha estado la tienda activa, hemos facturado 55.000 euros y tenemos aproximadamente 2.500 clientes. También quiero destacar un poco algunos ROAS que tenemos de las campañas de Facebook Ads. Por ejemplo, ahora tenemos una activa con un ROAS de 13, que lo normal es como 4 o 5, que ya está bien, y bueno, estamos bastante orgullosos de esto. Y bueno, creo que para nuestro objetivo es cerrar esta primera ronda con unos 150.000 euros, que creemos que si hemos conseguido llegar hasta aquí con tan poca inversión, si tenemos el presupuesto adecuado, pues creemos que podemos llegar muy lejos. Y creo que no me dejo nada.
¿Eso es todo?
Sí, eso es todo. Muchas gracias.
No he entendido los revenues. ¿Qué revenues habéis conseguido hasta ahora?
O sea, en todo el año, desde que está la tienda activa, 10 meses, 55.000 euros de facturación.
¿Eso en los últimos 10 meses?
Sí, aproximadamente, sí. O sea, este primer trimestre también 24.000 euros.
¿Cuánto habéis invertido? ¿Qué margen ha generado?
O sea, margen tenemos... O sea, no hemos tenido beneficios. Margen tenemos este 20%, pero al final hemos tenido bastantes gastos y una inversión inicial de aproximadamente 5.000 euros.
Vale, eso es cero caja a día de hoy.
Sí, sí. ¿no?
O sea,
habéis invertido todo en captación, ¿no?
Todo va hacia reinversión.
Bueno, sí.
En publicidad hemos gastado 1.500 euros en total.
Sí. Y construir la web, nuestros trabajadores, bueno, gente que nos ayuda. No todo ha ido publicidad, los 5.000 directos.
O sea, no hemos cobrado nada, todo ha ido a reinversión para el proyecto y en total hemos gastado los 5.000 euros.
Me imagino que compra segundas marcas así, indies, emergentes, porque le dicen algo, ¿no? Que no le dicen las otras marcas. ¿Cómo puede vuestro marketplace transmitir el ethos de estas marcas? ¿Sabes? La promesa esa que hace alguien, pues comprar una cosa así. ¿Cómo lo conseguís?
Un factor añadido que tenemos muy bueno es que tenemos un Instagram muy potente. Tenemos dos amigos que también son profesionales en Instagram, que han creado una auténtica comunidad en Instagram. Tenemos 15.000 seguidores en este año. Y bueno, creamos a través de Instagram este movimiento que hace que tengamos también esta facturación.
¿Y el Instagram qué promueve? ¿Vuestro marketplace o la marca? O sea, ¿cuál es el mensaje al usuario? ¿Ponderar la promesa de las marcas o la promesa del marketplace?
O sea, sí que lo que dices es verdad, que cada marca se crea, tiene algún valor añadido de que no solo es una marca. Y esto no lo promovemos mucho en Instagram, porque si no redirigiríamos todo el tráfico directamente a la marca y comprarían directamente ahí. Pero sí que hemos pensado en hacer un apartado de la web donde explique cada marca pues qué aporta, toda sostenibilidad y todo. Pero todavía no lo tenemos muy desarrollado.
Sabéis que somos inversores en Basquiat, ¿no?
¿De, perdón?
Basquiat.
Vale,
No lo sabía.
me suena a mí, sí.
¿Conocéis
pero no-
Basquiat? ¿Cómo os, el foco entiendo que es diferente, ¿no? Pero ¿cómo os comparáis y por qué Basquiat no podría hacer una actividad como la vuestra o vosotros como la de Basquiat?
Es que Basquiat no lo conozco mucho yo. ¿Qué es exactamente? Un
Vale,
marketplace.
es descubrimiento de marcas orientando el concepto crowdfunding, vendiendo con descuento prendas antes de la producción. O sea, compras hoy y recibes al cabo de 3 meses una prenda antes que esté en las tiendas, de marcas reconocidas y descubiertas como de nuevos diseñadores, digamos, ¿no?
No lo conocíamos esto.
Vale, no, era
Pero es que
poco
al
si
fin-
os queríais
O sea,
posicionar de una forma u otra respecto a ellos, ¿no?
Bueno, es que es un poco diferente lo que hacemos. Es decir, nuestro cliente recibe en 2 días prendas de marcas poco conocidas, pero que siguen la tendencia al momento. O sea, no acabo de entender de qué nos diferenciamos de Basquiat. No mucho.
¿Habéis dicho cuánto estáis buscando de inversión?
150.000, sí.
150.000, vale. El negocio de marca, o sea, e-commerce, dropshipping, promocionado por social y tal, hay muchos de estos y yo he visto mucha volatilidad, ¿no? O sea, muchas ascensiones brutales y luego descensos igualmente brutales. ¿Qué proponéis vosotros que os protege de esto? O sea, ¿cuál es el valor que os permite protegeros contra otro que vaya al día siguiente a las mismas marcas y apriete un poquito en el precio, mejore la logística o haga algo que vosotros podáis defender con más y más volumen, ¿no? Porque ahora mismo me da la sensación que es muy, muy fácil de replicar un modelo así.
Sí, lo tuvimos en cuenta esto y lo tenemos presente. Y bueno, el dropshipping es el modelo de negocio actual, pero en un futuro seguramente tenemos la intención de comprar stock y quizá abrir una tienda física que marcas emergentes y pequeñas no pueden abrir de primeras una tienda física y ser también el referente y la empresa líder en marcas emergentes y que los clientes puedan ir también a la tienda física a comprar.
Okay.
¿Al micro? Perdona. Vale. ¿Vosotros cómo elegís las marcas? O sea, porque para mí emergente es como muy amplio.
No, en realidad es nuestro criterio, que a nosotros nos gusta bastante la moda y llevamos metidos bastante tiempo, pero al final son marcas emergentes que se han creado hace poco, no más de 5 años, y que son pequeñas. Y bueno, seleccionamos de todas estas las que más nos gustan y les proponemos de unirse y ya está, básicamente es esto.
¿Y es hombre y mujer?
Sí, bueno, unisex es nuestra web.
Tenemos, con financiación, solo hemos tenido muy poco dinero para el proyecto y con financiación tenemos pensado crear un equipo experto en elegir las marcas, las mejores marcas emergentes y bueno, creemos que tiene futuro también porque bueno, la moda surgen nuevos diseñadores, emprendedores cada día y creemos que podemos escoger con un equipo de captación bueno las mejores para ponerlas en Nerethy.
Dos preguntas. La primera es quién está en el equipo, quiénes lo conforman, y la segunda es si ustedes se llevan un 20% de comisión, ¿por qué el cliente final no les compraría directo a la marca emergente y no ustedes que estaría perdiendo ese 20%?
Repito la pregunta. ¿Quién es el equipo y cómo hacéis que no se salte el intermediario, el cliente final, para ahorrarse a alguien este 20%?
Nosotros vendemos al mismo precio que la marca afiliada, o sea, el cliente paga lo mismo. Y bueno, si un consumidor quiere comprar las prendas en las distintas marcas emergentes, tiene que pagar el envío de cada marca. Nosotros solo cobramos un envío. Y la facilidad de tenerlo todo en el mismo site y poder comprar marcas de diferentes, hay prendas de diferentes marcas. Y respecto a lo del equipo, ahora mismo somos 6, bueno, Javi y yo, y después tenemos atención al cliente, un chico que nos lo lleva, una chica que nos lleva el Instagram, ayudada de otra amiga que lo hace muy bien, y bueno, las redes sociales en general, community manager, y después tenemos un experto en Facebook Ads y en marketing digital que nos lleva la publicidad, y por último el que nos lleva la web.
Vale, hacemos una ronda de feedback, empiezo yo mismo. Empiezo por decir que yo no invertiría en un negocio así, relacionado con lo que incorporaba mi pregunta anterior. Me parece muy poco predictable un negocio así. Creo que la generación de demanda con vuestro enfoque es un poco la carambola de los ecos en el social media, que de repente te traen tráfico, un poquito oportunidades en el bidding de campañas de marketing, que te encuentras pequeñas minas de oro. Y además es que he visto casos relativamente cercanos y me gustaría casi convenceros de que no levantéis capital. Porque facturar 55.000 euros y ahora 24.000 euros, que es increíble que sean los mismos números del proyecto anterior, con solo 5.000 euros tiene muchísimo mérito. Y a mí me daría mucho miedo, si estuvieran en vuestros pantalones, que el cráter que podéis hacer invirtiendo ahora 200.000 euros es de 200.000 euros, ¿no? Y que es muy fácil que se te escape el dinero metiendo, venga, uy, este mes no ha ido bien el Instagram, lo voy a meter aquí, no sé qué, ¿no? Y vas quemando y no te has dado cuenta y han volado cientos de miles de euros y proyectos parecidos he visto que han sufrido de esto, ¿no? Con lo cual, ostras, tenéis mucho mérito, habéis hecho un negocio con casi nada. Yo realmente intentaría seguir sin levantar dinero y conseguir que crezca el pastel, pero no veo la sostenibilidad a medio y largo plazo con lo que nos habéis comentado hoy. Pero os deseo mucha suerte, aunque yo no invierta, me parece que es un muy buen negocio y sobre todo si no comprometéis los ahorros de gente en algo así, que en mi opinión es tan volátil.
Gracias.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Primero de todo, no invertiría en este negocio y como dice Jordi, os deseo que podáis seguir, desarrollarlo y todo lo mejor, pero cuando uno ve un negocio, negocios como este he visto unos cuantos, muchísimos, ¿no? ¿Por qué hay tantos negocios como este? Porque no tiene una barrera de entrada. Eso es un problema. Cuando tú ves un negocio ves tres cosas. La disrupción tecnológica, que no la hay. Si hay un modelo de negocio diferencial, que no lo hay. Y el go-to-market. Este es un negocio de marca y de go-to-market, ¿no? Y a no ser que vosotros tengáis unas capacidades diferenciales enormes en el go-to-market, que seáis súper eficientes en la captación de clientes, en la generación de marca, etcétera, etcétera, pues no veo la sostenibilidad de este negocio por ningún lado. Es extraordinariamente complejo porque no tiene ninguna barrera de entrada. Entonces, es un negocio en el que en ningún caso invertiría.
Yo, parecido a lo que dicen Jordi y Juan, lo que os desafiaría es a que nos demostréis que nos equivocamos. O sea, realmente seguro que tenéis algo, vosotros, algún criterio, alguna capacidad para llevar de cero, con 5.000 euros de inversión, de 0 a 55.000 euros. O sea, seguro que tenéis un criterio sobre vuestro target y desconozco lo grande o pequeño que es vuestro target. Lo que sí que es evidente es que no hay barreras de entrada. O sea, cualquier persona puede hacer lo mismo. Yo os diría que os mirarais, en el podcast de INNIC tenemos emprendedores que han escalado negocios como el vuestro sin capital. El último, por ejemplo, Freshly Cosmetics, fue de 0 a 40 millones de euros en el espacio de cosmética y vendiendo a margen. O sea, si vosotros os enfocáis a proteger los márgenes de vuestro negocio, y sois capaces de encontrar una maquinita de crecimiento orgánico, creando contenido, buscando influencers, sobre todo influencers, es un espacio que seguro que conocéis bien, que os puede traer negocio y podéis llegar a deals a éxito con ellos, es decir, oye, pues si me ayudáis a crecer X, podéis capturar Y del valor que me generáis. Podéis llegar a generar un muy buen negocio donde ganéis dinero y que probablemente no tenga sentido para un VC, ¿no? O sea, el Venture Capital busca cómo llegar a 100 millones de euros con un modelo difícil de replicar, con barreras propias, con un equipo único que tiene una capacidad única de llevar a cabo, o sea, con una tecnología diferencial. O sea, buscan barreras yo os diría que nos demostréis que tenéis un negocio brutal y que la estamos cagando, ¿no?
Gracias.
Yo os recomendaría quizá que miraréis como fuente de inspiración para escalar lo que estáis haciendo sin dinero, lo que se llaman los FBAs, los Fulfilled by Amazon Businesses. Si pones en YouTube FBA, te saldrán 800.000 vídeos de gente que con una mano delante y otra detrás coge un producto, hace dropshipment, en este caso con Amazon, y se levanta negocietes de 100.000, 200.000 euros al año, haciendo lo que hacéis vosotros bien, que es lo del Instagram y todo esto. Y luego vendrá un VC delante y os comprará este negocio por 2 o 3 veces ventas, que no es mucho dinero, pero luego lo harás tú con otra marca, ¿no? No sé, puedes encontrar una manera de explotar un talento que parece que tenéis.
Gracias.
Nada que añadir. Está muy bien.
Teníamos un último proyecto, Germán, pero no sé si lo podemos pasar la siguiente semana. Sí. ¿Es posible o no? ¿Sí? Vale. Sí.
Nos vemos la semana que viene.
Vale, gracias, Germán.
Chao a todos.
Chao. Es que se nos ha alargado más de lo previsto hoy. Muchísimas gracias a todos por venir. Ya sabéis que nosotros estamos aquí cada semana. Todo el mundo puede venir a pitchar, no tenemos filtro, nos comprometemos a dar feedback. A veces tenemos más idea que otra y a veces puede ser más útil o menos. Pero, bueno, os decimos lo que pensamos, ¿no? Cualquier cosa nos podéis seguir en nuestros canales. Tenemos una newsletter semanal, un podcast. Podéis venirnos a ver cuando queráis. Muchas gracias.
Somos un ecosistema de startups tech de Barcelona, creadores de Camalún, Kipu y Factorial, entre otras. Ofrecemos más de 5.000 metros cuadrados de coworking a startups y organizamos eventos diarios para discutir negocio y tecnología hasta la saciedad. Desde Ignic Fund invertimos en equipos con capacidad de construir grandes productos y negocios. ¡Te esperamos!